Welcome back, everyone. So, what are we looking at here today? This is one of the, I think, best little snippets of writing advice that I've ever heard. It's from Chuck Palahniuk, who is the famous author of Fight Club and many novels and a really great short story writer. And this is a great piece of advice, I think, not just for writing, but I think if you're a programmer or a designer or anybody who is asked to bring their creativity to a project and manage other kinds of knowledge as well when you have to sit down and work. So here I'm just going to read what he says here. Alternating the thoughtful task of writing with the mindless work of laundry or dishwashing will give you the breaks you need for new ideas and insights to occur. If you don't know what comes next in the story, clean your toilet, change the bed sheets. For Christ's sakes, dust the computer. A better idea will come. And yeah, I've always remembered that because it's pithy, it's good advice, and it's all things that everybody does. Everybody does laundry, washes dishes, has to clean the toilet or change bed sheets. And that mixture of mundane everyday tasks with things that we consider very special and elevated, it's very memorable. But and it's also actually true if you try it. I don't know if you've found this, but I found that when I work in sprints, I typically get a lot done, and then I take a break, walk away, take a walk. Particularly, I have a lot of my best ideas, I think, when I'm out on walks or doing something else, not just sitting and staring at the computer for hours. So I thought I would show how I do this in Emacs. You've probably seen a lot of this, how I did a video on how you can log in, or rather clock into various tasks that you might have listed in a document or something, and then how you can have an org mode timer to basically set a certain amount of time you want to work, and when the timer elapses, it'll automatically clock you out. I have it here with this org timer done hook. What's new here, I found that is kind of allows us to be even more efficient, is when I come back, if I'm going to be working on the same task, let's say I was writing for 15 minutes, I take a break, do some chores, and then come back. If I'm going to keep working where I was, I will start another timer and then log or clock back in to that task. This function here basically does that for me, and I've bound it to the F5 key. So what it does, we'll go through it. It's an interactive function. It will clock me into my most recent task and start a timer for however many minutes I put here. So first things first, it will start the timer for 15 minutes. That's the value I put in there. And or clock in last is the function that will log me into the last task I was working on. And here I just set the key to F5 so that it will automatically do that. Of course, a few impediments here. Org mode, of course, does not remember the last task you were working on when you close the program. So, when you come in the next day, you'll just have to reclock into that task. And also, if you want to switch tasks, of course, then you'll go to the file and clock into the other task. Not a big deal. That's all pretty easy to do. I just make this a little simpler by coming back, hitting F5, and I can keep working. And this is, of course, not a very sophisticated function, but I like it because it demonstrates one of my favorite things about Emacs, which is just that you can take a few tasks you normally do and just put them into a function, and then you can just run that function to do those tasks for you, because pretty much everything in Emacs is just a function, and they're all very well documented, so you can know exactly what they do and what options and arguments you need to put in to get the results you want. Yeah, but there you go. That's just a simple little expediency that helps me as I'm going through my workday. But the main value here, I think, is in that idea of working in sprints and making sure you take mental breaks to come back and make sure that you are bringing in your best ideas and not just slogging away at whatever it is you're doing. So that's my story about how I'm using sprints every day, but also keeping track of various hours, so I can set targets for myself and keep track of time spent. I think it's also nice, what I like about that quote is to see that even a writer as good as Chuck Palahniuk has to stop and ask himself that same question. Well, where's this story going? And, has some of those same struggles. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. I'm going to leave it right there. Here's the function on screen if you want to see what it does. And as I mentioned before, if you want to see my writing that's too hot for YouTube, I have a link to my Substack below. And of course, if you have any comments or questions about this, feel free to leave them below as well. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more videos of obsessive Emacs tweaking and optimizing your writing process. But that's all for now. I'll see you all next time.